What's up, guys? Welcome to Knockers on the Bottom. I'm your host, Jay Mill, Jay Miller if you like. So let's get into it. So today I want to do something that I haven't done in a little while, which is kind of autopsy the win over the Carolina Panthers and kind of take a look at some of the things the Cowboys were successful at and hopeful that they can carry over into the Tampa Bay Buccaneers game. The Cowboys had a really good game plan against Carolina, and it's going to get tested here in the coming 3 weeks with them playing a lot of teams that are still fighting for playoff positioning, playoff seeding. And so the Cowboys are going to, even though they played well against Carolina here, they're going to have to step their game up even more because a lot of these teams that they're going to be playing are better than the teams they played over the last 4 weeks. So Tampa's fighting for playoff position. They're in a division where they've got a lead in the division at 8-6, and the Falcons are right on their tail at 7-7. They just made a switch over to Michael Penix. So the Tampa Bay Buccaneers aren't necessarily sure how the Falcons are going to play. They got to come in here. They got to play hard and try to solidify, their position. So the Cowboys are going to get a Tampa team that's really trying to come in there and put it on them. So they got to be ready. So let's take a look here. So the Cowboys are lined up against, Carolina. They got 4 wide receivers out. They got 1 at the top, 3 in a bunch formation at the bottom. Running back here, quarterback. Carolina matches it with 4 down linemen, 2 linebackers, so nickel. They got a guy up here, and then these 2 guys are playing off coverage with a single high safety. You got Jadeveon Clowney down there. He's always going to be someone that you want to watch out for. So at the snap of the ball, the Cowboys are identifying the defense here, and then CeeDee Lamb goes in motion. This is just to give Cooper Rush a tell whether this is man or zone. He sees that it's going to be man coverage, right? So now the Cowboys make their calls. They know this is going to be man coverage. So now they're checking all their checks, get ready to snap the ball. At the last second, you see this guy come up here and show some pressure. He shows like he's going to come, and kind of rush. But Cooper gets the snap of the ball. So Rico stays in at first. But as you see, as soon as Rico starts to move and go out, this guy also starts to go out. So right now, you see these guys, they're covered, and as you roll the play a little bit more here, he's even more covered, he's covered. There's really nothing in the middle of the field here. This guy is kind of trying to take away the running back, but as you can see, CeeDee Lamb is running his route down here in man coverage. Cooper Rush has the ball in his hands. Now let's take a look at what happens. Boom. So as you see right now, the ball is out of Cooper Rush's hands. I don't know if you can see it, but it's out of Cooper Rush's hands. CeeDee Lamb hasn't even turned around yet. Jalen Tolbert's turned around. He's like, yo, this is coming to me. Am I about to get it? It's going to be a touchdown? But no. And this guy's locked up here pretty physically. So Cooper Rush has already made his decision. And I don't think people realize how hard it is for a receiver to not know where the ball is. Ball's already in the air to turn around and locate it. I mean, like I said, like I always say, these guys rep things in practice, right? They rep it. So CeeDee Lamb probably has a pretty good idea of where Cooper Rush is going to throw it because Cooper Rush is throwing to a spot. He's not throwing to CeeDee Lamb. He's throwing to a spot on the field. But it's still hard to beat your man in this coverage and still turn around and locate the ball and then be able to catch it, right? Because if you don't necessarily do all of those things, that guy has a chance to bat the ball down. The ball can fall incomplete if you don't run your route to the right depth, to the right spot, or, God forbid, the worst case scenario, it could be an interception, and then, the ball's going the other way, and as you can see, this side of the field has no one. It will probably be a problem. But no, CeeDee Lamb gets his head around, does a good job of locating the ball, gets it in the corner of his zone, touchdown. I mean, great play by Lamb. This is some of the stuff we need to see when they're playing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers because it's going to be a challenge. The Buccaneers are going to come in here, like I said, they're going to come in here on fire, ready to take the Cowboys' lunch money. And the Cowboys, when they get these chances down in the red zone, because they will, they always do, they need to make sure that they can capitalize on whatever opportunities that they get. So let's take another look again here. Now, this time the Cowboys are in the red zone, but they're lined up a lot differently, right? Rico's been killing it all day, and he's lined up with that offset fullback that we like to see. You got 2 tight ends to this side, and you got 1 wide receiver up here. So right now, this formation screams run, but when we did our film study for the Carolina Panthers before the game started, one of the things that we talked about was that the Carolina Panthers tend to line up in this base no matter what's going on here. So they don't match it really heavily. I mean, you could say that they brought one extra guy into the box, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But honestly, that's not enough with the way the Cowboys are running the ball today. I would expect the Carolina to match it a little heavier. And it's interesting that right now they're showing 2 high safety as well in the red zone, right? I mean, we're on the 11-yard line. So right now, this actually formation screams run the football. So Cooper Rush is taking a look, seeing what's going on, looks at it, says, okay, I like what I see. So boom, play action, right? So now you fake it to the running back. This guy's coming up, and this looks to be Rico Dowdle's guy if he comes here to kind of touch Cooper Rush to, make sure that he doesn't get a hand on him. You got the tight end out here. He's got a good block. You got this guy. He's got a good block. Hunter Lipke showing action this way, probably going out, boom. He helps pick it up. Now, Cooper Rush has to buy a little time. As of right now, this guy is just kind of coming open, but this guy's here, so you might not want to throw that. This guy could be coming open in a route, but you kind of don't want to throw that with this guy here. So you got 2 options. You got this guy or this guy. This guy's probably going to flatten it out a little bit, go towards more so the hair, the pylon. And you want this guy to kind of take it a little bit back further. So let's see what happens. So that's exactly what happens. And Cooper Rush throws that ball to a spot. Jalen Tolbert, boom, gets it, gets both feet down, touchdown. It was a pretty good play design. It was awesome for Cooper Rush just to kind of get some freedom so that he didn't have too many linemen in his face to make the throw. Gets the ball there, you get a touchdown. So the Cowboys on their passing plays in the red zone were super creative. It really helped them out as far as making sure. I mean, they showed running that formation. And Carolina is not a good defense. So I'm not going to act like they were doing this against, the 85 Bears or something. But that being said, I mean, there were some tells that the Cowboys gave. And the Carolina Panthers didn't bite on that. But credit to the Cowboys for still having the good type of routes on to be able to beat that coverage and get the ball into the end zone. So also one of the things the Cowboys did really, really well on offense here was run. So as you see here, I mean, the Cowboys line up with a similar formation that they lined up with in the red zone, right? They have the 5 down linemen, right? Oh, sorry, guys. So they have the 5 down linemen, and then they also have the running back in the backfield. They have the fullback there. It's just a whole lot of situation where you would expect, hey, the Cowboys are definitely going to run this football, and they're definitely going to run it well. And so the Carolina Panthers, you would think, would match it with some sort of personnel here. But they don't. They stay in their nickel formation. Once again, they've got their 4 down linemen. They got their 2 linebackers. And they're not really doing a good job of matching what the Cowboys are showing, right? You would think in this scenario that the Buccaneers would be like, hey, man, we might need to bring some more people down, to kind of help with this running game, because the Cowboys have been running it on us all day long. But does Tampa do that? No, they don't do that. Give me a second, guys. This is my mouse ran out of battery. Of course, right as I'm getting into it, and right as I'm showing you guys what's going on, that's exactly what happens, right? My mouse runs out of battery, and now, it leads us to a situation where it's just a little bit weird. So we're doing some please stand by. All right, so we'll come back to that play a little later. But basically, what I was going to show you is Carolina didn't do much to match what the Cowboys were running. And the Cowboys ended up with 7 10-plus rushing yard plays in the game. So we were going to kind of get into the blocking scheme and seeing how those guys did. But we'll move on, and maybe some of those plays will show up when we break down the Cowboys offense versus Tampa Bay's defense and kind of some of the ways the Cowboys can be successful. So we'll switch to the defensive side now. Again, sorry guys, but we'll switch to the defensive side now. So you have the Cowboys. They actually had a couple of good plays on defense in the passing game. One of them was an awesome play that we're going to watch here. So you got the Carolina Panthers coming out, and Bryce Young has been playing better. I've seen a lot of people go, oh, the Cowboys did this against the Carolina Panthers, and the Carolina Panthers suck. And maybe that is true. Maybe the Carolina Panthers are not necessarily a really good team at the moment, right? But one of the things that we forget is that this team took Kansas City to the last minute. This team almost beat the Philadelphia Eagles, if not for a drop touchdown pass. So while the Carolina Panthers haven't necessarily been awesome this year, I'm not going to sit here and act like, well, now going into the game, I told you all the ways the guys were dangerous, and now I'm going to sit here and be a revisionist and act like it was nothing. Oh, the Cowboys should have beat them 30-14. I mean, the Cowboys haven't been playing that well this year either. So let's just take that into account. But they have been playing better as of late. And like I said, it's going to be a true test when they go up against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers this week. But the Carolina Panthers, 3 wide receivers up top, 1 wide receiver at the bottom. Bryce Young's in there. He's got the running back with him. The Cowboys match it with nickel, right? We can see them lining up. They match it with nickel. They got their 2 linebackers in here, Maris Leofau and Eric Kendricks. They got their 4 down linemen, including Mr. Micah. You know, they got the corners here, and then they match it with a 2 deep safety. Now, Chuba Hubbard goes out into the formation here, making it a 5 wide receiver formation. And because of that, Maris Leofau comes out. You can see him walking down now. So now you have Deron Bland going against Chuba Hubbard here. And then you got Maris Leofau going against the wide receiver. And then you still got those guys matching up, safety, everything like that. So let's see what happens. So empty formation. So they got to protect. They have to protect. So Bryce Young sees it, makes some calls up there, make sure he calls out the protections so that his guys know who to block and which way to shift the protections, probably towards Micah Parsons, right? All right, so on the snap of the ball, boom. This guy, he's here to get Micah. You already see this man leaving the center and saying, I got to go help this guy here too, right? But the Cowboys are doing a pretty decent job across the board, just kind of making sure they keep an eye on everything. Now, Bryce gets this out immediately, right? He does a pretty good job. He doesn't hold on to the ball. You know, Micah's blocked up pretty well. This is all blocked up pretty well, and he even has an extra guy here just in case Micah gets free. But what happens? Oh, Jordan Lewis does a great job of getting a hand on the ball. Eric Kendricks does a great job of awareness. And boom, that's a takeaway. The Cowboys have the ball. They're going the opposite way. And who knows what could have happened had he made it through that first wave. But anyway, the Cowboys get the possession, and that sets them up a little bit later on. And one of the great things about this interception is Tampa is going to give you opportunities to intercept the pass. Baker Mayfield is playing awesome this year. But Baker Mayfield is going to give you a couple of times a game to be able to get your hands on the ball. And if you can capitalize on those couple of times in the game where you get the chance to get your hands on the ball, it's going to just do wonders for your team. So here we are again. Cowboys are lining up. So Bryce Young is here by himself this time. And you got the 3 wide receivers out, right? So the Cowboys have corner here, and it looks actually like maybe this is not a 3rd wide receiver. I think that's Chuba Hubbard, another wide receiver. Maybe it's a tight end lined up to the line of scrimmage tight. Who knows? Yeah, it is a tight end lined up tight. So as you can see, the Cowboys here, they showed up first. When they first showed up to the line of scrimmage, they were like, hey, we're bringing everybody. You know, we're going to see what this young guy can do. So Bryce Young's already probably thinking, holy shit, everybody's coming. Got to make sure that I get this ball out of my hands. Now, as the play goes on, he sees that guy step out. Now, this guy's still up on the line of scrimmage. Safety's still down here as well. But it's kind of giving Bryce Young maybe a little bit of confusion as to who's coming, who's dropping. This is what Mike Zimmer is known for. This is the type of progress he's made. So now he brings the running back in, and he says, hey, man, you got to get up here and protect because they're showing me pressure. This guy's moving up. He's moving back. He's back up on the line of scrimmage. I don't know what's going on. You're going to have to stand in here. You're not going to be able to go out for a route. Now, Donovan Wilson. Oh, now they all drop out, right? So the Cowboys were playing games with Bryce Young's head all before the snap of this ball. And now all of a sudden you have a guy in coverage here, you have a guy in coverage here, you have a guy buzzing underneath, a guy dropping deep middle, this guy's deep here. I mean, Bryce Young was probably not expecting to see this many bodies out in coverage, right? So he gets to the top. Now, he's like, this guy's going to come open. So I'm going to throw this ball to this spot in order to throw this guy open. He's going to beat this safety deep because this safety already has his eyes in the backfield. And his hips are already turned too. So Wilson's actually in good coverage to take away the deep part of the field. But there's actually a hole. There's a little bit of a hole here. But the ball is late, man. The ball is late. Bryce has thrown this, but it is so late. And because it's late, Israel Mukuamu can just come right over. Boom. Get that interception. You know I've been talking about Izzy for a minute now. And Israel Mukuamu makes his presence felt. Gets the interception, and he's from North Carolina, so that was a good day for him as well. And the Cowboys turn Bryce Young over again, right? So the Cowboys secondary playing well, Mike Zimmer, disguising coverages, and getting Bryce Young to make mistakes. Again, these are all things we need to see against Tampa. So now let's take a look at the Cowboys' other big part of the day, which was getting to the quarterback and getting sacks. So here we are. Bryce Young actually has a bunch formation to the bottom, right? He has the one wide receiver on top. He has Chuba Hubbard there. He's got his 5 down linemen. And the thing about Carolina's offensive line, too, this is not like last year's Carolina's offensive line. They actually have 3 free agents that they signed, and they have 2 big guards that have been protected in the middle. And Bryce Young actually was one of the least sacked quarterbacks coming into this game. So it's not that Carolina has been having trouble in pass protection all season long, but there is a chess piece here that they haven't had to face, and that chess piece is Micah Parsons, right? He makes the whole situation go because he commands so much attention. A lot of your guys end up with one-on-one matchups, and one of the things that we need to see when he's creating those one-on-one matchups is those guys win those one-on-one matchups, because then that makes the whole thing even tougher. And it did help that the Cowboys started to, gain a little bit of a lead. They were running the ball well, so Carolina knew, hey, our possessions are going to be limited. When we have the ball, we have to be aggressive. We have to figure out what we can do. So, like I said, lined up in the pistol. He's got Chuba behind him, 3-by-1 set. Before the snap of the ball, he's going motion. Okay, so now with the motion, he knows this is going to be a zone play. Right? So here we go. Boom. The ball comes out. Osa Digizua gets the man to the ground, and that's pretty much that play. It was dead before it even had a chance to start, man. So let's take a look at another one, right? Bryce Young coming up into the line of scrimmage. Here he is at the line of scrimmage. He's got a 5 wide receiver set. So Carolina, one of the things we broke down as well is when we were watching them in the end zone, super aggressive play calling, right? They went empty set and backed up into their own goalposts against the Philadelphia Eagles and completed a 40-yard pass down the field to get themselves off and running, give themselves a chance to win the game. Here again, super aggressive set, right? They're down at this point. It's the third quarter. So they're going 5 wide receivers. The Cowboys match it in kind of like a little bit of some sort of shell coverage because they've got every single guy is playing off the line of scrimmage here. And then you got the safety playing deep. So they're giving a free release to everyone. Everyone. So you already know they're like, we're not going to get beat deep. And once again, I mean, if you just look at the way the defensive line collapses the offensive line. So you got a stunt here, right? You got Osa coming up the field, driving hard on that tackle, right? And then you got Golston, boom, looping around on the inside. And now there's a problem here because Bryce Young has nowhere to go with the football just yet. and everything. I mean, this guy's getting tossed into him, right? Boom. And then everyone just shows up, and it's a party at the quarterback. He's sacked. He goes down. I mean, the Cowboys did an excellent job of controlling this game. And this is kind of how it looks, right? There's 4 more sacks after this. I mean, the Cowboys had a sack party, sack compilation. They were working it all day long. And I honestly, like I said, Carolina's offensive line is not bad. We just played Tampa. I mean, we're going to be playing Tampa. And Carolina took Tampa to overtime. So just when everybody wants to tell you how the Cowboys have no chance this week, don't listen to that, because they absolutely do have a chance. I don't know if that means they're going to win the game, but the Cowboys have a chance. Now, it could be like some of the earlier games in the season where, yes, they had a chance, and then they came out and they got down early, and then things just snowballed, and all of a sudden, it's 40-9 before we even know what happened. I don't think they're going to play that way, because they've been playing much better and much more consistent lately. But we're going to see. We're going to get into it come tomorrow. We'll get to take a look at Tampa's offense versus the Cowboys defense. And then, like I said, we'll take a look at Tampa's defense versus the Cowboys offense and try to see some different ways that we might be able to have some success, and some different ways that the Cowboys might be able to attack, or that they might be attacked. And hopefully, like I said, if we can see it, hopefully they can see it. But that's all I got for you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I'm sorry for the technical difficulties a little bit today. We had a mouse break on us. We had the play that I was playing before just went somewhere else. I don't want to take you guys through trying to find the whole thing again after I had it already set up. So just a whole lot of technical difficulties today. But thank you guys. Love you so much for tuning in. Thank you guys for sticking with me through the technical difficulties and apparently the speech difficulties. But you can hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. You can follow me on Twitter at JMillerIYL. That's JMiller if you like. You can also hit me up at knockersonthebottom@outlook.com. Again, knockersonthebottom@outlook.com. You can also hit me up at knockersonthebottom@gmail.com. You can submit questions below if there's anything specific that you want me to cover. I'll take them here. I'll take them via Twitter. I'll take them via email, put them into a mailbag, make it a formal segment. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. Love you guys. Like I said, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. But until next time, I'm your host, J Mill if you like. This has been Knockers on the Bottom. Peace.